It's Eric Trump's first book, and the timing, frankly, couldn't be better because it was published in America yesterday. It'll be coming out in the UK on the 6th of November. Under Siege, my family's fight to save our nation. And I'm very pleased that Eric joins me now down the line from Florida. Eric, very good to see you. Great title of the book.
Thank you.
The one thing I remember in 2021, going to Mar-a-Lago, and these were pretty difficult, dark days. You know, the election had gone the wrong way, the 6th of Jan, everything was happening, legal threats were piling up. And your father said to me, "What would you do if you were me?" I said, "Well, if I had lots of money, a lovely wife, loyal children, golf courses all over the world, I know what I'd do." What do you think made him decide to fight on and to go through the hell that most of the next 4 years was?
Well, Nigel, my father's built differently. I think we're built differently as a family. I mean, they came after us with everything they had. That's why it's called Under Siege, right? And by the way, the book just went to #1. It's the #1 book in all of America in every single category on Amazon. It's really incredible. But they went after us like absolutely crazy, right? They tried to impeach him 2 times. They made up the dirty dossier. They made up the whole Russia hoax. They took him off the ballot in Maine. They took him off the ballot in Colorado. They took him off of Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. They weaponized every DA and every attorney general in this country against my father. They indicted him 91 times. They tried to have him canceled. They tried to have him debanked. I became the most subpoenaed person in American history for never doing a damn thing wrong. They raided my father's home. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They went through Melania's closet. They went through Barron's room. They leaked our tax returns. The IRS leaked all my father's tax returns. They leaked all my tax returns. They leaked all of our employees' tax returns. Nigel, they did everything they could. And when none of that worked, somebody tried to put a bullet in my father's head in Butler, Pennsylvania. They tried to kill him 2 months later in Palm Beach, Florida. They've done everything they could to try and bankrupt us, to try and take away our voice, to try and silence us, to try and gag order us, to try and impeach him, to try and embarrass him, to try and break up his family. And despite all of that, we won. We beat the mainstream media in the United States. We beat the establishment in the United States. And he created the greatest political movement in the history of this country. And that's what the book Under Siege is about. It's that fight. It's my fight as the guy who runs the Trump organization, runs a lot of great assets over where you are. You know Turnberry very well. And you know Trump International, Scotland, Aberdeen very well. You know a lot of the properties we have over there. It was my fight as the guy who was running the company that they were coming after every single day as a way to get to my father and our family while he was in the executive branch.
We're living in a time of what feels like pretty significant social change, and it makes us question things that we've even taken for granted for decades. And one of those at the moment that people are wondering about is actually money. Is the money in your bank account safe? Should you be investing elsewhere? Are we looking at a potential global crash? What will it mean for your savings? Is there a way that you could be using your money that might be outside of government control even? Well, TallyMoney is potentially one solution. So I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the CEO and founder of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. What is TallyMoney?
Well, at TallyMoney, you basically get gold you can spend. So we give people an individual account in their name, everyday account. They get a sort code, an account number. They use that account just like they would pounds from their bank, but it's milligrams of gold that we brand as Tally.
Okay. Why would you do that, though? What is the benefit to the customer instead of just having a normal pound sterling account?
Gold's performance against the pound is above 11% per annum over the last 25 years on average. But we still need money in our daily lives, and we have savings. We know that it's good common sense and prudent to save up for things, not just live in credit. You know, whether it's a holiday or a rainy day, your retirement planning, you need to have money in your life, basically, that you can rely on, that's dependable, that nobody meddles with, that nobody can weaponize against you, which is another element of government control when it's the government currency, which we could talk about another time. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward, and that's what we deliver at Tally. And really, we just want people to feel safe and happy with their money. There was a time when the bigger your bank balance, the more confident you felt. Now it's like, I need to do something with it. I can't leave it there. In Tally, you can.
Okay, brilliant. Cameron Parry from TallyMoney. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev.
I mean, look, it is an incredible story, and it's a story of human resilience on an incredible scale. But what is it? Because at any point in that, if your father had said, you know what, I'm not going to run, I think all those legal cases would have fallen away, life would have returned to normal. What is it that made your father, and you guys, because you were all in this together, what is it that made you go on?
You know, Nigel, it would have been the easiest deal as a business guy. It would have been the easiest deal I've ever made. You know what? My father will step aside. We'll all step aside. We'll be a little bit more quiet. We'll kind of go off we'll fade into the distance. And you drop all the other nonsense. They would have made that deal like that. And honestly, we love America. We love this country. We love this world. Our leadership under Joe Biden was absolutely incompetent. He was an incompetent president. Our standing around the world was falling. We were losing faith. We were losing family. We were losing our Constitution. We were losing our freedom of speech, something that I know I'm watching what's happening over there, and you've been a vocal critic of it, but is seriously dangerous and incredibly worrisome. As a person who's had speech weaponized against them, I can say that the path that the UK is going down is a dangerous one, and I hate to see what's happening over there. You know, but we wanted to fight. We wanted to fight for the greatness of the greatest country anywhere in the world. You know, we need the Western world to be strong. You know this. As our greatest ally, you know this. We need America to be strong. We need the UK to be strong. Otherwise, there's mayhem in the world. And when I watch my father over there, when I watch him get Middle East peace, when I see him bring together two societies, two religions that have been fighting for 3,000 years, everything they did to us, the siege, everything that they put us through in that book that I wrote, it's now all worth it. It was the greatest political victory of modern times, and I could not be more proud of the guy.
No, well, as I said at the start, your timing's absolutely impeccable because this is the week of the extraordinary deal over in the Middle East. And we've had a British Prime Minister, laying claim, saying we contributed to all of this. But, as Marco Rubio made quite clear, actually recognising Palestine was in fact counterproductive to all of it. What's your take on the British position on all of this?
Nigel, honestly, I've grown up a lot in politics, and I realize I no longer have a position for other countries' leaders. You know, what I will say is my father spearheaded the greatest coalition of great people who came together and all in their own way somehow, gelled together to create world peace, right? I think playing Monday morning quarterback is counterproductive. Obviously, my father led the way. Everybody knows that. I think, no, but honestly, when in recent times have we ever seen two sides of a conflict who both agree that the outcome of that conflict was good for humanity? You didn't see that in World War II where, Germany was coming out and saying, we're incredibly happy with how this whole thing ended up. Obviously, that never happened. You didn't see that with Japan. You didn't see that in World War I. You didn't see that in Korea. You didn't see that in Vietnam. I mean, here you literally, have both sides coming out and they're happy and they're praising my father every single day. And by the way, you've had in other conflicts as well. I mean, you saw what happened in India with Pakistan. They're both coming out and saying, Donald Trump got these settled. And so, for me, it's not my spot to kind of render opinion on other governments. But what I will say is the world is in a beautiful spot. I mean, the world is in a beautiful spot because universally, people are celebrating peace for the first time when most of these politicians, all they've ever wanted was war.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And I'm sure next year that your father will get the Nobel Peace Prize. But I must ask you, to finish off, Turnberry. You mentioned Turnberry earlier, and I remember last May being up there with you. And you've created this golf course that is now rated the number one in Britain and Europe. Truly incredible course that has previously hosted some very great Open Championships. You've got the hotel now, fantastic hotel. But the Royal and Ancient, who decide the venues of the Open Championship, seem to be reluctant to give you the Open Championship. Are you going to get the Open to Turnberry, Eric? Come on, yes or no?
I think we will. I think we will in time, and we're ready, willing. Everybody knows Turnberry is the greatest course in Scotland. We have the other greatest course in Scotland in Aberdeen as well. I just finished a second course there, and everybody says it's top 5 in the world. It's spectacular. Nigel, you've seen that as well. But I really do think, I know many of the people over at the RNA, and they're wonderful people, and Turnberry deserves it, and the entire world knows that Turnberry deserves it, and all the players want to go back to Turnberry. They know it's the best course anywhere in the world. It's certainly the nicest hotel in the UK, and I think in due course, Maybe a little bit of the politics feather out a little bit. You know how that whole game works. But I think Turnberry deserves it. And honestly, I'll be ready, willing, and able to throw on the greatest, Open championship the Royal and Ancient has ever seen when they come around. And I'm sure they will.
Fantastic. Eric, good luck with the book. I can't wait to buy it and to read it. And thank you for joining us here tonight on GB News.
Thanks, Nigel.
Terrific. Well, you got to say, chip off the old block.
Very similar.
The levels of confidence, the levels of belief, amazing.